I mentioned Homo Deus before. Homo Deus, and there's some new guests that have come. Homo Deus is a brilliant book that advocates we'll stop being Homo sapiens. So Homo, it's mankind. Sapiens, the thinking version of mankind. There was Homo erectus, the standing up version. There were different types. So kind of like dogs have different breeds. Humans 20 years ago had different types of humans. Neanderthaler, they were stronger and a little bit faster, but not so smart, and so forth. And now they believe we're going to change into something else than humans, some sort of superhumans, almost godlike. Old Homo sapiens, we died from epidemics, we died from starvation, and we died from war. But right now, the chance is higher that you'll kill yourself. So suicide is higher than all wars and all terror attacks put together. There's a bigger chance you eat yourself to death than that you starve yourself to death. And epidemics kill very, very few people, statistically speaking. So these Homo Deus, these godlike creatures, they want to upgrade themselves. And if you start looking at medicine and technology as how can you upgrade yourself and live longer, it becomes a very, very interesting field. A field that, for obvious reasons, Landstinget and other medical institutions don't pay too much attention to. So I wanted to dive into that a little bit here on stage. And we're going to have a whole summit on digital health tomorrow. So we have two wonderful speakers. One of them is just flown in from Miami. He is an author. He has rejuvenation clinics. He's a two-time Mr. America and a lot of other interesting things. He's Dr. Ivan Rusilko, please. Please have a seat. Welcome to sunny Stockholm.
Tack så much.
Have a seat. We can even sit over here, I think. We can sit over here. And we also have, she's an entrepreneur. She's a doctor. She's created and sold a SciLife clinic, where she went in and genetically, with every measurement possible, and with a holistic view, with coaching, medicine, predictive medical treatment, she created much better chances for living not only long, but also healthy. And she believes we can probably live to 150 years or even more. You're with us from Dubai, Mouna Esmaeilzadeh.
Hi, everyone.
Okay, so first, could you, Ivan, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Okay, where shall I start? No, basically I run a very unique little boutique clinic in Miami. I cater to celebrities, executive CEOs who are looking to enhance their lifestyles, if you will. So better sex, energy, fitness, fat loss, sleep, you kind of name it. So everybody comes in, I say, what are the 3 things you'd like to change? And we do blood testing, hormones, medical nutrition, everything from the IVs, which you're going to get today.
Oh, really?
Yes. So we're going to get you all jacked up and ready for tomorrow, too. So, yeah.
So let's say, you can't comment on your clients, but let's say that P. Diddy, that I saw go into your clinic one time, comes to you and he says, I want to live longer, I want to be healthier, I don't want to stress, what would you do for him then?
Again, everything starts with the basics, which is your blood work. So we check very in-depth things such as everything from hormones to neurotransmitters to candida, mercury, things that traditional medicine doesn't really focus on, yet they should. Once I have that, I have a better picture of I combine that with their history, and then from there we kind of get a picture of who they want to be and how we're going to get them there. And then that starts into anywhere from 4 to 6 months of hormones, injections, IVs, different things that kind of gear them towards what they want to upgrade themselves.
And what kind of results do you get? If somebody's 70 years old, what could you have with 70
Again,
years?
I always say the root of my practice really relies on sex, because that's what everybody really wants. Again, they might say 1 or 2 other things, but once you break down the sexual health, that takes in the physicality, the emotional aspects, the spiritual aspects of it. So if you can correct somebody biophysically, that translates into the mind, body, spirit, actual ideology, if you will. And again, sex is kind of at the root of all 3 of those. So better sex always equates to better living, better life, and a whole lot more energy.
Okay, we are going to come back to sex very soon. First, we're going to speak about SciLife Clinic. You've sold the clinic, but could you just share a little bit what you were doing there and also what you're doing now?
Yeah, so basically what we did at SciLife was to really use the latest science and technology to make sure that you could live longer and healthier and better. But well, in general, what do I do? I'm kind of obsessed with life and the art of living. So, and it has a sort of a long story, because as you can see, I'm not Swedish. And I was born in Iran, 1980, and it was really just after Ayatollah Khomeini took power. And my parents were politically active and on top of the blacklist. So basically, we were, from my birth till we left Iran, we lived secretively and hiding from house to house. And one day we just had to leave because everything got worse. And I almost died in this very dramatic journey. And I think that really being surrounded by death, I got obsessed with life and the art of living. And it has really, consequently, I became a medical doctor and neuroscientist. And that was really what I did in SciLife. I was obsessed with life, and I still am. So today I try to spread the knowledge that I gained the last decade doing what I did, to make sure that other people can actually use it to live longer and better.
But speaking to both of you, I feel almost tricked by the medical system, because there are things out there, I could live longer, healthier, but there's nobody sort of in no medical system can afford to give these things to people. So what are some of the things that you could do, that anybody could do without sort of spending hundreds of thousands of dollars? What are some of the things we could do to live longer? Just a quick answer from both of you on that.
You want to start, Ivan?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that, there are basically three main factors as I see it. I mean, there are lifestyle factors, there are genetic factors, and then there are also factors that relate to how well you adopt and how good you are at keeping up with the latest technological development. So, okay, when it comes to lifestyle factors, I mean,
something happened with the camera here.
Oh.
Okay, it's your internet. Yeah, keep talking.
Okay. Okay. No, so basically we all know that it's good to eat healthy and exercise, but there are other lifestyle factors that most people don't think much of and that actually have a great impact in longevity. So, first of all, I really think it is important to have fun. So it's important to find a healthy lifestyle that you love. If you don't, otherwise it won't be sustainable. So if you love to run and eat broccoli, you should do so. But otherwise, you should, find something else that you like what Ivan was mentioning, having sex. That's a great thing. You burn some calories, and at the same time, you reduce stress and your risk for a lot of diseases. Now, secondly, it is, of course, important to have a positive attitude towards life. So
a positive attitude that actually
live longer.
So positive attitude actually has medical
Sorry,
impact.
Ahead.
Does a positive attitude have medical impact?
Absolutely. We know, and you can also see, most of the centenarians that you look at, they can be people who have been in the Holocaust or have had real traumas in their lives, but still they have a positive attitude to life, and that actually helps them get through life in a good way. Now, another thing is, I mean, obviously there have been some studies on places where people live the longest today, and there seem to be some lifestyle factors. For example, they make sure they don't eat too much. They only eat until they are 80% full. But another thing is that they make sure to have a sense of purpose every morning they wake up. So, having a meaningful life and purpose is an important factor. And basically, science has shown that this factor alone can add up to 7-8 years of your life. And also social life is really important. It's funny because when you go to the doctor, everyone asks you whether you smoke or not, but most people don't care about your social life. And we all know that not having a rich social life is as dangerous for you as smoking. So, yeah.
So if I summarize this,
make sure you surround yourself with people.
If I summarize this, because the sound is not perfect, then you live a lot longer if you eat healthy, you exercise. Okay, most people get that. But also if you're positive as a person, you live longer. And if you have purpose in life and you surround yourself in a social context.
Absolutely. And then, okay, I mean, then there are people, of course, who smoke and drink excessively and live longer and better than most of us. But so obviously, lifestyle is not everything. Of course, there are genes that matter a lot.
So, But yeah, I thank you very much for that download. We have some problems with the sound here, but I think we've captured most of it. So I thank you very much and wish you good luck in Dubai and hope to see you when you come back home.
Thank you very much. Enjoy, people.
Thank
Bye.
you, Mouna. It's funny, I'm waving here, but
Yeah, exactly. You're waving at the Sime sign.
So you showed me a movie that is scary. So if you, but I found it on Facebook, so I don't know if you object. Otherwise, we're going to have a movie. So he was arm wrestling, and if you look at his arm very closely, you can see what happens. So do we have a movie on that?
You're going to start the 5. Move your head. Move your head. What happened? Broke my arm. Broke your arm.
Do we have another movie? You heard the snap?
Yeah. That was
Do we have the other movie from the other angle? Okay, that is not a nice movie.
it's interesting. Bring back memories.
And you went to the doctor, and they said you're not going to use that arm.
Yeah, I went to the doctor, and again, it's funny. Miami, they like to not really give good health care. Go figure. And I got there, and I decided to have the surgery. And after the surgery, they said you'll have 6 months to kind of start to use your arm again. And then when they gave me the surgery, they actually gave me a wrist drop. So therefore, my hand, I walked around like this, and I couldn't really do anything with it. So I sat there, and then I kind of brought in what I do. So the hormone aspect of it, the nutritional aspect of it, kind of did a little extra research in the orthopedic field. And I started myself on a certain hormone, as well as the IVs. I was able to completely heal the fracture, as well as the plate around it in 3 weeks, as well as I was able to bring my hand back within 6 months. So it was kind of a situation where it's nice to sit there and, it's fun giving somebody something, but when you do it to yourself, when you need it, it's just like, holy shit, this is good. So it was one of those eye-opening things where you can take what traditional medicine is and make improvements to it.
Yeah.
Even though, you're studying from a doctor and that's hundreds of years old, there needs to be improvements and an evolution, if you will. And that's how I kind of created what lifestyle medicine is. It's taking what we know already, but making it not just for sick people and people who aren't feeling well, taking a natural or a regular person who feels good and make them feel great.
Yeah, but you can also analyze a person. So it's kind of, if I'm a medical company, I need to, it's like making a joke that everybody in the world laughs to, or we don't put it to market. It takes 17 years for a pill to go to market. Whereas if you sit with P. Diddy or with me, you can figure out exactly what I need.
Exactly.
And you can treat me on a one-to-one level.
Customization. Customization is the key. There's a very big herd mentality, at least with Western medicine, one size fits all. And that's kind of where you get into a lot of problems. Many medications cause more issues than they do help. So with what I do, it is very expensive. It is very tailored to whoever does come in the door, but it does focus on exact blood work, exact urine testing to see who you are physically, biophysically, as well as, I play therapist more than anything. I help people with, you had asked earlier, what are some of the important things you can do is set goals in your life. Many people don't have a goal. They just go through life like a tumbleweed, no real issues, and you see people who go to the gym, why? It's just kind of a physical masturbation, if you will. You're not really, there's no ending to it. Whereas when it comes to this kind of medicine, there is an end goal. We want to get you to here. We want to have, an 8-pack, best sex of your life, sleep well, get you off of Xanax, all these different things, which medicine can do. It's just taking the handcuffs off, if you will. And that's what medicine hopefully will evolve into, to where it gives the doctor more chance to treat the patient, not just the lab.
And you cooked something for me, whatever that is.
I did cook something for you, yes. So
Yeah.
I know you have a very stressful one, so we're going to go ahead and clean your liver today for you. So it'll be quick, but it'll be very, very good and feel great afterwards. So.
Okay. So basically, you've taken some samples of me and you cooked something, which is basically, if I understand it like a layman, everything I need to have in my body to be able to endure stress, remember speakers' names, and be at the top of my game. Yeah. And you're going to cut me or sting me or do something.
Yeah, we're going to stick you. And thankfully, since you're physically fit, we got good veins on you.
Yeah.
That's always the key. Digging around somebody who doesn't have good veins is never fun for either of us. So the whole idea of IV nutrition actually sprouted from oncology, which morphed into the ER, to where the banana bag. So if people came in hungover or anything like that, they would give them certain vitamins and minerals that they would be deficient in to make them feel better. So if you take that one step further, I have IVs for sex, fitness, fat loss, energy, detoxification. We test for mercury. I'm testing about 75% of my patients come back positive because we as a species have evolved too fast. We've pulled mercury out of the ground, yet we haven't evolved to deal with it. You know, we have zinc, selenium, all the different metals in our system. Mercury is kind of a surprise. So, you know, mercury has a lot of side effects with it, and thankfully now we're able to clear it, which is kind of one of the biggest things we can do. So.
But what do you think then, when you hear me speaking about becoming superhumans in the future, and with the advent of all these technologies and digital technology making sort of its way into the medical space in a big way, what do you think? What are the limits? And if you go 10 years ahead in time, what are some of the things that will be very different?
Honestly, I think I heard them speak about it earlier, and I've always argued, or not argued, or suggested things such as cancer and viruses are some of the most amazing things on Earth if we were to take them and flip them on top of themselves. So a virus, a cancer cell, this is basically, it's an unbridled form of energy, of rejuvenation, everything that we need to explore more, if you will.
So you actually believe that in the sort of cancer, in the construct of cancer, that could be answers for other types of treatments?
So you hear of stem cells. Stem cells are basically cells that basically, you know, just unlimited division. So yes, now you're officially cooking, and you can see the yellow version is actually the riboflavin.
You do promise me this is not your urine sample or something, right?
Well, I can't promise. I mean, like, it was a long night last night, so no, you'll be just fine.
And what are these things going to do for me?
Again, so the main thing is your liver. Your liver is your garbage disposal. And a lot of people don't pay attention to what you put in and what comes out. It's always about how it works. So what this does basically is going to clean all the stress, the free radicals, all the different byproducts that are built up through, given a conference such as so, the stress of putting into it. It's going to help clean the liver out and therefore rejuvenate. And again, if you can have a clean liver, you will live years and years down the road. My personal thing is I tell everybody I plan on living to 120, looking like this, feeling like this, because again, we have the technology to do it.
Nobody can even tell you're 60. It's
exactly. No, go figure, right? You know. So good marketing. There we go. But no, again, like it's about understanding. So in medical school, as surprising as this is, I spent about a solid month on cholesterol medications, learning what they do, what their names are. Biggest waste of my time. I spent 1 day on nutrition. That was it. Okay, and that's probably the most important part when it comes to it. You are what you eat. So I had to go back to school, like outside of medical school, and become a nutritionist as well, just to learn it. Once you learn that, it takes, again, the handcuffs off of a physician to sit there and say, I don't have to worry about just medicine. I can work on diet. I can work on how you want to get a six-pack. This is how we do it through nutrition. Things like that. And again, physicians are very closed-minded. They're horrible businessmen in a way because they're taught this is your cardiologist, your heart, that's it. And that's all they focus on. And again, I take pride in saying I'm probably the most hated physician among physicians in the United States because I will call bullshit on a bullshitter, okay? You know, they'll say, why are you giving somebody this? They don't need it. Why are you giving somebody cholesterol medication and not giving them a diet? Why are you giving them diabetic medication and not teaching them how to eat properly? It's bullshit, is what it is. So it's a situation where common sense is not so common anymore in this day and age.
But so these alternative practices, or sort of the whole notion of targeting somebody who's not ill, that is not seen very well sort of by traditional medical institutions. At least here in the country, everything is focused on treating sick people.
Exactly. And again, like, if you could take a pill or an injection or whatever it is to feel the best you've ever felt the rest of your life, take the mystery off, is sex going to work tonight or not? Because no matter what age you are, that happens. Yeah, the whole thing is, can I lose that extra weight? Why sit there and try and not have those, I guess you could say it's cheating in a way, actually, which the end product is a better, healthier you, just more advanced, more upgraded. You know, people upgrade their phones, they wait in line for the iPhone 10. Why not sit there and invest in your most important asset, which is yourself? You know what I mean? That's what people don't...
We had a conversation, Tom, you had some, I think it was like a 70-year-plus guy who was like running out of the clinic feeling like he was 25 again. I said, but you were injecting like hormones and stuff.
Exactly.
Growth hormones. And I said, but is that legal? Well, he's not going to compete in the Olympics. He's 70 plus.
And again, like a 7-year-old man, again, I keep coming back to sex, and I do much more than just sex, but that's kind of what gets people to pay attention. But no, the whole thing is like when you lose.
You're going to hit me with another one?
I am. This is actually a very high dose of B12, and again, there's different types of B12. So what we do with this one is I always put it halfway through, and the size of this bag dictates that this makes it pink and pretty, you know, so I know you like pretty things. So there we go. But no, given somebody such as that, it's funny. I don't have patience. I have zero patience. I have friends. Yeah. That's it. Everybody who comes to me has my cell phone. They have everything that they need to have access to me. Because it's a partnership, okay? And again, with somebody such as a 7-year-old man that's coming in, they need that guidance to go through and say, this is good, this is not, this is good. And once they get it, they become their own physician, their own nutritionist,
And I asked
their own
Mona the same
personal trainer.
thing. What are some of the advice, if you would want to give people advice here, that they can do themselves or that they can change? And it's not about sort of take long walks and eat healthy food, because everybody's figured that out. What are other things that are sort of less expected, but that can really have an impact?
I always say you have to have a goal. Like I said, that's the biggest thing. If your goal is to get in shape for a reason. Do a bodybuilding show, do a marathon or something like that. Don't just do it to do it, okay? Because you aren't really doing it for yourself. You're doing it because you think you should, okay? That's one of the biggest things. And also, never strive to be normal. Aim to be extraordinary, okay? Because everybody here is extraordinary if they want to be. Age is a decision. And in this day and age, with what I do, with all the unique things that I didn't even know about, I've heard here already, which I'm fascinated with, it's to the point to where 150 is going to be the new 30, the way it's going, okay? So the whole thing
how long do you think, like, people in the audience here, the young people in the audience here, so it's like if you're 30 now, how long will you live?
As long as they choose to live. Because again, it is a choice. You know what you should do and what you shouldn't do when it comes to your lifestyle. Should you have that extra piece of cake? No, one piece, moderation is fine. If you choose to continually screw yourself over, you're going to live less, okay? People who sit there and do moderation and actually take...
I'm feeling this now. I'm supposed to feel this.
Yeah, you're feeling, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
You feel a nice little tingle, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what we want.
Okay.
You know, you had that cocaine thing this morning, you got this today. So you'd be buzzing around.
Yeah.
But no, yeah.
Avoid any mistakes. I had laser cocaine up my nose, which is a laser lamp. Don't call any. Yeah. Yeah. No, maybe it's placebo, but I feel pretty awake right now.
Well, that's the thing, is that with the different sizes of these, and again, there's a lot of these popping up in the United States now because it is a cash-based practice. People, you know, physicians with Obamacare coming in have been kind of hampered to make money. Understanding how it goes, the smaller the bag, the faster the effect, the less hydration, everything like that. So there's a lot of science that goes into it. I kind of just cowboy it here and there.
Yeah.
But it is fun
But you
to
can
do.
also, which I think is amazing, cure hungover in like 20 minutes.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, hangover's the easy one. When somebody comes and wants a hangover, I'm like, that's easy. When it comes and somebody wants a better sex drive, you got to work a little bit harder for that one. You know?
We are running out of time.
Okay.
Thank you. I will shake your hand here. I'll nod.
Nod. There we go.
And
I'll be out in a minute to take you off. How's that sound?
Yeah, I think if you carry that one, we can go out together.
Perfect. Let's do it.
And we'll invite Laurie Siegel back on stage because we are going to look into cybersecurity and what that does to the world around us. So please, welcome up Laurie Siegel.